Alright everyone, welcome to the Crafty Crow Show. Today's episode is going to be more of a thinking out loud channel update. I've had some conversations with some guys. As of this taping, I've got 70 subscribers. And there's been a couple of other YouTubers that have subscribed. We've talked about how all this stuff works. But there was one guy, I think actually when I was watching one of his videos, really got me thinking. Researching for all this, you want to have a good clear definition of what your channel is going to be. And I know my first video was putting out that video and kind of defining what my channel is, and ever since then I've been all about camping. And this ain't the camping crow, this is the Crafty Crow. So really been thinking the past few days of what I want to present to you, how I want you all to perceive this channel, and what direction we're going. Well, I've known the direction, but trying to articulate that, I think, has been one of my problems. Trying to explain or put out on video. And, like I've said in a bunch of videos, I'm still trying to get used to being on camera and things. So, hopefully the awkwardness is going away, and I'm trying to quit saying, so much. But this is not just an outdoor or camping channel at all. That's what I've been into lately, but that's not the only thing I want this channel to be. I want it to be a teaching channel. I want to learn from you, all of you that have more experience than me, and anybody that doesn't know how to do some of the things I do, I want to try to help teach you. It's something that I've always kind of enjoyed doing, is teaching. I had guys at work, have wanted me to teach classes and things before, because I've always somehow had a knack for explaining things that's been easier for people to understand. And usually I only explain the stuff the way I understand them, because you ain't got time for a whole bunch of off-the-wall stuff that you don't need if you can understand it in a simpler way. That's what we all want. Let's get the cliff notes on something. We don't need the manual. We need the cliff notes to make sure, enough information to know what you're doing. But so that's kind of what I've wanted the channel to be. And I know the camping stuff, which I've done that with some of the camping stuff, showing my gear and things, and tried to stay with that. But the bread and butter has still probably not shown up as good. So the video I had with making Jason's pouch for his saw was one of the things I thought about with showing how I made my bags. But I've went on this theory, and I know people have tons of end of the world scenarios. I'm not a prepper. I don't carry bug out bags and things. Do I believe some of that stuff is legit? Yes, I do. Something can crash down, whether it's some kind of attack, whether it's some kind of something, and there's plenty of theories. I know that you all know there's plenty of theories on what something could be, so we'll just call it something, could happen and cause the government to fall apart. Might be pretty obvious watching everything that's going on right now. It's not too far-fetched to think of that, right? The government could fall apart, something could happen to shut down the electrical system, whatever. Basically, something could happen to throw us into the Stone Age. So, preppers are ahead of the game. They've got supplies, and, you've got a year's worth of food and fuel and everything. But when it comes down to it, my way of thinking, when it comes down to it, you have all this stuff ready. So if something does happen, those people are going to be better off than us. But for how long? Fuel's not going to be made. Any internal combustion engine is not going to work unless you can make biodiesel or something. There's exceptions to all this, but for the most part, people's worried about the food and stuff. Well, if you've got a year's worth of food, that's great. But if you don't have the knowledge to grow food, that's just going to prolong your suffering for a year. You've got to know how to do it. And gardening's pretty hard. Some people it's easy for. I know just for home, I can usually grow stuff. And Pocahontas she has a black thumb, and I've got a green one, she says. But I still don't have the knowledge like my grandfather does on how to actually grow crops and grow them good. So my thinking is, if something was to happen like that, and God forbid it does, and hopefully it never does, but if something like that was to happen, you're going to have we're going to go back to the ways that they done even 100 years ago. It's not too far fetched to look back and see what people done without electricity and a lot of money or anything like that. We're going to have to go back to bartering and trading and things. So what's something you can do if you don't have the food reserves or anything that you can trade for? And I think having skills, your knowledge and skills, is something tradable. You find somebody that knows how to farm, but they're plowing with horses and their plow breaks or something. You've got to have people that knows how to fix things, how to create things from nothing. If you need an axe handle because your axe handle broke and you have to clear off this land to farm, and that's the only axe you've got, do you have the knowledge and the equipment, which it don't take much equipment, but do you have the knowledge and the equipment to make you a new axe handle to chop down that tree? If I know how to do that, I can come say, hey, you give me whatever in food because I'm not farming, and you barter and trade that way. So you've got those skills, and that's what I want to do is, and it's not just for that. It's not end of the world scenario, don't get me wrong. This is also skills that we've all lost. We've become dependent on technology, and we've just lost it. Stuff that our grandparents knew and old techniques and stuff that worked for hundreds of years before that. And just in a couple of generations, we've lost all that knowledge, or almost lost all of it. So what I'm doing is finding old tools, different things to restore, and trying to learn how to use those too. And I'm wanting to share that knowledge with all of you. Using an old hand plane or just an old bit brace, you can depend on that stuff. It's not going to tear up. It's not going to break down. The stuff was made to last forever. You can find stuff cheap in yard sales or flea markets or something. It gives you a project to restore it, and you really learn the inner workings of it when you restore it and how to work that tool and how that tool works. And you can create stuff. Is it slower than power tools? Absolutely. Do I use a combination of both sometimes? Absolutely. But you can only get a certain look out of these older tools, that everybody collects now. All these antiques and stuff was made by hand tools for the most part. So I want to show that. I want to show if you've got something old from your grandparents and you want to restore it, but you don't want to tear it all to pieces. If there's going to be mistakes made, I want to be the one to make them so you don't have to. So point is, the reason it is the Crafty Crow Show, it's not just about camping. I guess you could consider it in a way homesteading in some aspects. So there's going to be camping and outdoor stuff. There's going to be homesteading aspects and some stuff. Maybe overall self-reliance kind of things. Learning how to do this stuff yourself. And you don't have to pay somebody else to do something. All you have to do is the knowledge and the time, and you can create anything. So don't get caught up just because I've been posting camping videos that this is a camping channel, because it's not. And I hope that don't disappoint some of you. But all of it interlinks to me. So even though that's all the content I've had so far, that's not what's going to be posted. And that's why I said some in the earlier videos, whatever I feel like doing that day. And that's not a good explanation. It's not just what I feel about doing that day. It's trying to show you all these other aspects, having this wide variety of things that you can enjoy. And the one word that keeps coming up is self-reliance. Being able to grow your own food, to make your own stuff out of the tools that you've got. And it doesn't matter if you got electricity or not. A lot of the stuff, if you can take out into the middle of the woods, you could build your whole house without ever having to have a generator. And that's a lot. That's a dream that I had. I don't think that I'll ever be able to do. But that's a lot to take on. And you got to have the knowledge and the tools to do it. And I don't have as many tools and knowledge as I want, but I want to share that with you, and I hope you'll join me in that journey. So I guess I just wanted to clarify with this video and kind of give an updated direction on what I want this channel to be. like I said, mostly a thinking out loud kind of thing. I just want to give y'all what my thoughts was. So, with it getting cooler weather, and there's still going to be camping videos, but like I said, I don't want that to be the only thing. Actually, there is, you know what? Let me take you, it might be too dark in there, but let me take you in my building, kind of show you what I got going on, explain to you. I know you can see in the background, it's always in the background here. Looks like it's junked up, and it is junked up, but it's all projects that I've got in mind that I've not got around to yet. And with the channel, I'll finally get around to them because I got to have content, right? So it's a win-win. Let me grab the camera off the tripod, and I'll take you around and show you some stuff. Let's see if the lighting's good enough, and I'll kind of give you an idea of where we're going. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, starting out, I wanted to turn this British soldier, or well, my friends over in the UK that I've got now it might be an insult to them, but it's something my cousin left when she lived here, but I wanted to turn him into a patriot, you know, one of the good old Revolutionary War patriots. Maybe someday. Got panned around, and this whole video, Corey's grandfather, which I don't know his name, but he says he watches my videos and wants to see all of my junk all the time, trying to look in the background. So these shots are for him. I've got Old Mirror, Pocahontas wanted to redo. We've not got to that yet. 4 rocking chairs. The 2 blue ones are from I don't even know how many greats relatives that I had. The green one my grandpa always sat in under the under the carport out here. The green one's going to have to be recaned, and so is that back blue one. So we'll get to recane those and strip them down and make them look nice again. Put them up on the front porch. That's where they were, but I've got them under here so they're protected. Lots of assorted little projects and stuff. An old workbench that I do have junked up. That's my fault. Everybody loves this old RC sign. There used to be a RC bottling plant here in Harlan, and I think Papa even worked for them, and that used to be the sign that hung in that plant. They gave it to him after they shut the plant down. It used to light up. It's fluorescent. It's kind of been a beacon for a lot of people, because you can see it from the main road here. I'd like to figure out how to restore that one and get that lit back up, because I think a lot of people would enjoy that. Got my hangers for the kayaks. This, just a quick side note, that's a fig tree. And apparently fig trees don't like it in this area of Kentucky, or maybe this latitude, but this thing absolutely loves it right here. I've even had neighbors try to get starts off of it and can't. My old anvil I was going to use for any kind of blacksmith and stuff. Old bicycle, my tiller, my lawnmower, you know, some of those kind of things. Like I said, I know this is junked up. Got this old push mower that I might end up redoing before it's over with. We're going to go into the hole, see if we even got enough light. So this is a work in progress. I've got this whole wall with all my hand tools and stuff on. They all kind of set out of the way. It's a little cluttered though. I want to kind of the reason I'm wanting to get this building cleaned out is to fix all this. When I first come and started living here, the only space that you could get to was this one sheet of plywood. You know, you can get the door open and kind of get around in here. The rest of this was all covered with all kinds of junk in it, piled up at least chest height. So I've done a lot of cleaning, but when Papa moved in back in the 90s, a whole bunch of stuff up here got shoved. He made overhead shelving, so the entire overhead is still full. which is why it's been so hard to get this thing cleaned out. Actually, there's a lot more light in here than what I thought they'd be. That's kind of nice. I've just got tools and stuff thrown around on a little foldable table because I don't have a workbench yet. Some tools to hang back here. You know, he's got old shelves and stuff. This whole corner back in here is stuff that I found that I'm keeping, plus some things we have stored. But you've got, I did kind of clean up this wall some, so you've got a bunch of tools hanging. There's one of my old hand saws that I've already restored that one. I've got another one that's older. I think it's about too far gone though. There's some of the junk there that's left. That's all that's left in the floor of the junk. And I still got to clean these shelves off because it's just got some old stuff from him. I'm going to get all this cleaned up, and right in here, I'll show you outside here in just a second, but we're going to put it's actually a coal-fired like cook stove. We're going to put it up, and that's going to be the heat inside the building. But there's some of the boxes and stuff we got stored back in there. Like I said, it's just, probably can't see it, but right there is an old school desk. We can't figure out what school it might have come out of. We've got right there is an old harness for a mule or something. I found it buried under a bunch of things. And got one of my old, let's see if I can point to this, one of my old crosscut saws, one of the big 2-man saws. I've got 2 of them. They both need restored. And that'll be another project someday. So I've got tons of different projects. You know, I got my shelves there with all my different oils and stains and stuff I've started putting up there. That's not all of them. But it's a good little area. I don't know for sure the exact dimensions, but what the people that lived here before Papaw did was box in one whole bay in this carport and make a workshop. So once we get this overhead, because I mean my head's hitting stuff walking through here. Once we get this overhead out, we can get this pole right here out. So the only pole will be there that's not movable, and this will all be open. Now I'm thinking big workbench right in here. We'll paint this back wall and stuff too, and get some better lighting in here. And once we get in here, we can actually do projects and deaden some of the sound outside. We can do projects in the winter time. Oh, there's an old coal auger. That's what that big screw looking thing is right there. I found that in here. I'll show you that sometime. But you know, it's like I said, this whole thing was full. I've got to do a little work under the floor because it's a little bit bouncy, but that's the building, and will be the future Crafty Crow site to do all of our projects and things and work from. I'll kind of set this up, since I started doing this channel, I'll kind of set it up as like a studio in a way, you know, and we'll be able to do everything in here. Maybe get some of this road noise from all these people going up and down this hill out of here. Going out the door, there's my box with some of my camp gear. I've got this old belt sander that I found in there that looks like it might just need a new cord. Some other junk. Let's see if I can get to this stove though. And that's the old stove. You can see it's kind of had a little bit better days, but we're going to get that thing fixed up and put in there for the heat. We're just going to use wood. Probably won't use coal, but that ought to keep us warm and toasty here this winter. There's old Clifford. Got John's truck. Pocahontas's car. I'll show you something Pocahontas got me too that's pretty neat. Right there. The Crafty Crow Show. She got some stickers made up. And John put one on his truck over there. And of course I got one on my truck. But thought that was kind of neat and a good little surprise. So, you know, that's the kind of the rundown on all the junk you always see in the background. It's not really junk. We just had nowhere to put it, but it's all projects. It's all projects. Let me see if I can find you. I don't know if there's any figs left on the tree this late. There's one. It's pretty rough looking. It's about the last one I see. And I've got, somebody was asking me one day about what was in my tubs. Got 3 of these old cast iron bathtubs. That was hostas. That come up every year. They don't really like it there though. They do good in the spring, then it gets too hot for them. And I've got a lot of leaves on the driveway, don't I? One tub there that I can't remember what it was called that was in it, but I've already cleaned it out for the winter. There's another one I've tried to just grow some wildflowers and get some butterflies around. So there's the whole setup, guys. That's what is in the background. I figured Corey's papa would like that more than anything. He said that had one video that he sat and tried to watch everything, and this was more trying to pick out what was in the background. So I figured I'd give a walk around and let him see what all was going on. Let me throw this camera back up on the tripod. We'll finish this one up. Okay, everybody. So that was the quick walkthrough on kind of what's behind me. I didn't know if anybody had been curious. Felt like showing it. Like I said, it's mostly for Corey's grandpa. I don't know his name, or I would tell you. And I messaged Corey earlier. He must be at work on runs because he never answered back. But you know who you are. This was for you, buddy, and I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of that, and I hope you enjoy some of these upcoming shows I got, because we'll be redoing some old hand tools and stuff that you'd be real familiar with. And if Corey's not got you an account made, get him to make an account and comment on some of this stuff and give me some of your knowledge, because I'd love to know some of it. But I hope you enjoyed seeing it all, and kind of a little look around the house here. Like I said, I think here in a couple of weeks, Mom and my sister is going to come over and help us get that cleaned out, because it's my grandpa's house and it's my grandpa's stuff, and I want Mom to be here to go through it. She thinks there'll be some interesting stuff in there, so I'll kind of let you know what's in there, and anything interesting, especially tool wise and things that I keep, I'll end up showing you later on, because I'm keeping a lot of that stuff. We're just getting rid of the junk, because there was a whole lot of junk. But once we get that cleaned out, we're going to do, probably one of the first videos we'll do is redoing that stove. Or do you call it a stove? I don't know if you call it a stove or not. That's what we're going to redo, though. And get that set up and show you how to set that up before it gets too cold out, so we can start having heat in the building. Then probably the next thing we're going to do is build a workbench and get that set up. Then we can start doing any kind of restorations, woodwork, or anything that we want to do, and show you how it's done, or show you how I do it. It's probably the wrong way, but we'll try it. So it's just a channel update. I want to let y'all know, and any of you that's subscribing for just a camping channel, I hope you'll enjoy this other content, and I hope that won't steer you off. But I want to be upfront now, early on, that it's not just a camping channel, and it's not a survival channel or anything. It's self-reliance, I guess. Like I said, that's the word that keeps coming to mind, self-reliance. Just the camping's one aspect of my life, and I'm trying to share my whole life with you. Like I've said before, I'm got many interests, jack of all trades, master of none. So I want to bring you all and show you all those different things. Some people might not think it's interesting, some people might love it. I know some of the channels I watch, I love that kind of content because it's variety. I like that variety. So thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for listening, and just thank you for being you, and thank you for being here. That's all I've got. That's all I can think of right off. There's no sense in me rambling on like I usually do. thanks for all that you do for the channel. Thanks for all the support you give. Please subscribe if you're just now seeing this and enjoying and looking forward to these other projects and stuff. Go ahead and subscribe now. Hit the bell, because the bell will give you alerts every time I put a video up. And that way you won't miss any of it, because like I said, besides the camping stuff, there's a whole lot more to this channel, and there's a whole lot more coming. So my next video I'll be showing, I'm getting you all involved. I want you to pick one of 3 different tools to restore, and I want to show you those, and I want you all to pick and see which one we start with first. So I want you to interact more, because I really want to hear your comments and things. So again, thanks guys. Thanks for stopping by. Be good to one another as the good Lord wants you to. Thanks for stopping by for another episode of the Crafty Crow Show, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.